Hello, and welcome to OMAFA's Agricultural and Horticultural Society's annual return and grant application training. Today, I'll be walking you through how to complete your application in our Transfer Payment Ontario system, also known as TPON. The first thing that you'll need to do is to log into the TPON system using your internet browser, preferably Google Chrome. The web address is www.ontario.ca/getfunding. This will bring you to the landing page of the system. At the top of the page, you'll see a blue button where you can log into the Transfer Payment Ontario system, or you can scroll down the page and access the various resources that are available to you. In the Get Help section, there are a number of guides and videos which might help you with creating a new account if you need to do so, or with navigating the Transfer Payment Ontario system itself. Towards the bottom of the page, there's a Contact Us section, which has both a phone number and an email address, which will allow you to speak directly with a representative about any issues you might be having in the system, whether it's logging in or navigating, or maybe some technical challenges you're experiencing. In this case, we're going to log into the system by clicking the blue button at the top of the page. That will bring us into the TPON system, and you'll have two options to log into the system. The first is if you don't have an account, you have the option to create a new account. There's also a guide and video at the top of the page in case you need assistance in doing so. Likely for the majority of you, you already have a My Ontario account, and you'll be able to sign in clicking the button here. Then you can enter your credentials and select Sign In. You'll need to get a verification email sent to you at the email address on file, so we'll click Send Me an Email. A code will be sent to your email address shortly after clicking this button, and the email should look something like this. We're looking for the code that I've highlighted here, and if you want to copy that, you can paste it right into the Enter Code box, and then select Verify. Now that we've logged into the system, there are a couple options available to us. The first thing that we'll want to do is view or update our organization. We'll then click on our organization's name in the list. And in here, we can update any information about our organization within TPON. Of particular note is the Address tab, which contains the mailing address on file for your society. Please review this and ensure that it's correct. If there are any pieces that need to be updated, you can select the box, enter the new information, and then navigate to the bottom of the page and select Save. Once you've verified this information, you can go back to the main menu and then select Home. Now we're ready to submit our application. We can select the See Funding Opportunities tab, and then again, we'll select our organization's name. There are a number of options here. We can see our previous funding that we've received, but in this case, we'll be submitting for funding for a new application. So we'll click this button. You should see any invitational programs now associated with your organization. You may just have the one program, and it may look like this, where it's a list view and you can click the new button, or you may see it in a card view, which might look like this. Either way, you can select the program that you're applying to, and it'll bring you to the next page. Now we can see that a case has been created for our organization. It's provided us a case number and the date of today of when the draft was created. There are a few different tabs in this section. The first is reviewing the program information. The second is to download and upload our completed form. The third is where we'll attach our supporting documents. And the fourth is where we can confirm our submission. So in the first section, these are documents that are available to you to support your submission. So the first one you'll see is a TPON and Adobe guide, which will walk you through step by step any assistance you might need for using these two pieces of software. And if you don't have the updated Adobe version downloaded to your computer, this is a good resource to help you do so. Next, you'll see the financial statement templates. These are blank documents that your society is able to use if you don't already have financial statements that your society creates. Finally, the last document is our financial review certificate. This is a document that you'll need to have two individuals sign to attest that they've reviewed your financial statements if you don't have a CPA doing an audited review of your financial statements already. You can click on any of these documents by selecting the name of them and download them to your device as needed. Once you've reviewed these documents, you can either select Next or you can select Step 2 at the top of the page. In this step, you're able to download, complete your form, and then upload it back into the TPON system. Please note that your browser's pop-up blocker must be disabled before downloading the form, and it is preferable to use Google Chrome to have the most success with downloading the form. If you do have any difficulties, please ensure that these both are the case. Then you can select the Download Form button, and this will start the download of the PDF document to your device. You'll see a pop-up shortly on your screen, which again, you'll select the download button to initiate the download process. That's this blue button here. The file will automatically download to your device. In my case, it's downloaded to my downloads folder on my computer. If you click on it right away, it might open an internet browser and say that it's not able to open. So it's important to find the file on your device, right-click on it, and select Open with Adobe Acrobat. If you don't have Adobe or the latest version of Adobe uploaded to your device, there are the instructions back one page, which can help you download the appropriate version.
The form will open in Adobe looking something like this if you do have Adobe downloaded correctly to your device. If you have a different message coming up, you might need to download the latest version, or you might be opening the form in your internet browser, and it's important you follow the steps we just went through to ensure you're opening with Adobe. Once you get to this screen, you'll be able to expand the form using the Expand button, and then you can begin completing the form. Before you start, we would recommend that you save a copy to your computer with the name of your choosing and a location of your choosing. That way, you'll be able to fill out the application in a number of different sittings and come back to it and enter new information as you go. At the top are the instructions. Please note that there are two parts to this application. There's the annual return section, which is required to maintain your incorporation status under the AHOA Act. And then there's the annual grant application if you're looking to receive funding under the program. There's also a reminder that your auditor's report and/or financial review certificate must be completed, signed, and dated before your annual general meeting. The next section outlines your payment information. Your society must be registered in TPCR and TPON before proceeding. It must be current and match this application to receive a grant. This section will display how your society is currently registered for payment, either by EFT or by check. Please verify that this is correct. And if this is incorrect or you would like to update your banking information, please ensure that you contact us by emailing the email address here at ahoa.admin@ontario.ca to begin the process. Once you've reviewed the banking information, you can click the box to indicate that you have verified this information. You will also have to indicate whether your payment address is the same as your organization address by choosing either yes or no from the drop-down menu. The organization address can be found below in section B, and this is automatically displaying the organization address that your society is currently registered for. If the payment organization address has been or needs to be updated, please email us. If it is the same, please indicate so by checking yes. Section A indicates the organization information. There will be some information already displayed about your society from the system. If there are any errors in what is already displayed, you'll need to go back to the organization tab that we visited at the beginning of the session and update the information. We can then fill in the mandatory fields, which are noted with a red asterisk. I can fill out the OHA district number and the location for my society. Section B indicates the organization address information as mentioned previously. This section is not editable, and if any changes are required, you'll need to go back to the TPON system and revise the information, confirm the changes and save them, and then download a new form to start the process again. Section C is the application contact information. You'll notice that there are a number of required fields, such as the first name, last name, email address, phone number. You can indicate the position title, whether they have a fax number, and if they are a signing authority. You must have at least one signing authority who will digitally sign this form in the last section. Please also confirm the contact status. In the dropdown, you can select whether this is a current contact or a future contact. For future contacts, they will only receive correspondence for the upcoming intake, so you can use this field if you know that there's going to be a new volunteer in the role for next year. If you use current contact, they will receive information for both this application and future applications. In this case, I will select that this is a current contact. If you would like to add an additional contact, you can use the Add button here at the top and fill out the required information. If you need to remove a contact that you added, you can click the Remove button. For all other changes about contacts in your society, please make those changes in TPON. Section D indicates the society information. Please fill out the fiscal year end for your society, the annual revenue for the year, the annual expenditures, the total number of volunteer hours, the number of members within your society. Please note that in order to receive a grant, a society must have at least 15 members if they reside in Northern Ontario, or at least 25 members if they are in Southern Ontario. Please also indicate the date of the annual general meeting. Your AGM must be held prior to the date of February 1st in order to be eligible to receive a grant. We can then proceed to Section E, which is if you are looking to receive funding under this program. Please provide all of the details from your financial statements, and if it's not visible in your financial statements, please ensure to attach a separate breakdown of these expenses. We can input expenses line by line, and when you do so, please indicate the amount, the location in the financials, and the description of the expense. If you have multiple expenses to input for each of the categories, please do so and indicate separately what those expenses are. So I will go ahead and fill this out. Okay, now that I have finished entering all my expenses, I can see the total down here. The form does the calculations automatically, so you don't have to worry whether this is correct. So this is the amount we would be requesting. The next section is section F, which is activities of compliance. So please indicate by checking the boxes which activities your society has undertaken this year to encourage interest and improvement in horticulture. Please check as many boxes as you have done the activities, but you must check at least one box in order to be eligible to receive a grant. If your society has not undertaken any activities, please check the box at the bottom, which indicates my society did not undertake any of the above activities. Should your application be audited by the ministry, you will be required to provide justification and evidence to show how your society performs the checked off statements. The last section is section G, which is declaration and signing. Please have your signing authority sign the document by clicking I agree. This will automatically populate the signature and date and time. We can now scroll up to the very top of the application to validate it. Click the validate button, and a box will pop up to indicate whether the form has been successfully validated, which is the case here, or whether there are any areas you need to recomplete for either missing information or there are some errors. Please go back, fix those errors, and make sure to validate the form again to make sure it validates successfully. Since it has validated successfully here, I can go ahead and click OK, and then I can click Save. Please make sure you save your form after the validation so that it remains validated and can be populated into TPON. You can check if it's been saved by looking up here above the validation button, and it will tell you when you have saved the form.
Now we can return back to the TPON system, and we'll be able to upload our form. We'll click this button, and we'll use this little navigation tool to find the form that we just saved on our computer and upload it back into the system. Once the form has loaded, you can select the Upload button and allow the system to upload your form now back into the TPON system so that we'll be able to review it for assessment. Please note that the system will not accept scanned versions of the form. They must be completed online in the fillable PDF version for the system to accept this form. Once your form has uploaded successfully, the TPON system will move you into step 3, which is attaching supporting documents. We scroll down the page, we'll see where our application was already submitted, and we'll be able to add the additional required documents for this application by selecting the New button. My documents are saved under my Downloads folder, so I'll navigate to those now. And the first document that I'll upload are my financial statements. Once this document loads, I'll need to select the correct attachment type for it. In this case, I'm uploading annual financial statements, Or if I had my financial statements, including my auditor's report, I would select this one. In this case, it's just my financial statements, so I'm going to select this attachment type. I'm going to do the same thing for all of my remaining attachments. Next, I'll upload my financial review certificate. And I'll do the same process where I'll select the appropriate attachment type. Finally, I'll upload my incoming listing of executives. It is important that this is for the incoming year, not the year that you're submitting expenses for. Again, I'll select my attachment type of incoming executive officers and directors. Now that I've uploaded all of my supporting documents, I'm able to either click the next button at the bottom of the page, or I can navigate back up to the top of the page and move to the Confirm Submission step. Once you've submitted by using the Complete Submission button, you won't be able to go back and make any further changes, so please ensure you've uploaded everything you need to at this point before you click this button. If you do need to make additional changes, please contact us at ahoa.admin@ontario.ca, and we can assist you with these changes. In my case, I've uploaded everything I need to and I've verified it's correct, so I'm going to click the Complete Submission button. We can now see on the right-hand side of the page the case number that's been generated for my file, the date that it was created, that's the date I downloaded the form, and the status shows as submitted, which means that OMAFA has received a copy of your application. You'll also receive an email similarly noting that your application has been submitted to this system successfully. If you do have any challenges with this process, again, please do not hesitate to contact us at ahoa.admin@ontario.ca. Thank you for your time.